Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June the 1st. This is Shelley from Proverbs 31:22, both here on YouTube and Instagram. And made it through Mania. So, decided to do a little update, show my progress on what I've gotten done, and talk about some plans for June and share some goodies with y'all today. Um, so, a little bit of a life update. We are doing okay, other than dealing with, allergy type stuff a lot the last few months. But doing all right, still working, still hate it, still waiting for plexiglass shield at my front desk. If you don't know, I work in an urgent care clinic, and after 3 months, they finally said they were going to put plexiglass up during the pandemic. So, and then now I found out that the person that they had lined up, or the company that they had lined up to supply it, has said that they can't supply for the whole company. So I think they're starting process of getting quotes and stuff. So maybe we'll get it before the pandemic is over. But anyway, we're all doing okay. Our older daughter and her family got a pool for their backyard. So I guess it was Memorial Day. I did have to work on Memorial Day till 5, but they had us over to grill burgers and stuff, so that was a nice time. And this past Friday, I told my husband, I was like, I have a feeling we aren't going to see very much of the boys this summer since they have a pool in their backyard. And then Saturday, they surprised us, and Nathan, our older grandson, called and said he and Malachi both wanted to come and spend the night. So, and last time Malachi was over, he started crying for his mom when nighttime came, so they came and got him. But this time he actually spent the night. So we watched some episodes of American Housewife. And we usually tape those and then save them for when the boys are over so we can watch them together, because it's something that we all like to watch. So that was a lot of fun. And they played basketball, and we heated up some good leftovers. I had made white beans, and my husband had made pork roast during the week. And then we had planned to bake chicken on Friday, but didn't, so we baked that chicken. So we had a nice little overnight visit from the boys, and then Kim and Dwayne came and picked them up Saturday, and they came out and sat on the swing, and we visited for a while, so that was nice. My husband did work like a dog last weekend, getting. He bought me the zero gravity swing that I showed a picture of and talked about before, for Mother's Day. That's what him and my girls got me for Mother's Day. And he was having issues like cutting the grass around it. So he bought some pavers and made a little pad for it, and he actually dug up the sod that was in the area and leveled it all out. And so he's had quite a laborious few weekends, because this past Saturday we went and got some flowers to plant, and he redid some of our beds. So he's been a busy bee in the yard outside. So, and I'll try to get some photos and add those to the beginning of the video. Last video, I had problems. I don't know what was going on with my iMovie. It wouldn't, I couldn't do any kind of additional Um, couldn't do anything in iMovie with my last video, so that's why I just went straight up the way it was. So anyway, I'm filming today in a different spot. I won't film here all the time, but I'm filming here because I want to show you something that's behind the under that towel behind me there. But this is, if you don't know, my craft room got moved probably a year ago into what was the master in this home. And we have two walk-in closets in the master. We only have clothes in one. So this is the second closet. And we've used it at various times for either home office area, or we did have a treadmill in here that never got used. And so I was like, I want more craft space. So anyway, that's where I'm filming today. I've got like a little office area set up in here, and then I've sort of created a little finishing station this week. So that's why I'm filming in here today. And I've got, just a small little chandelier overhead, and so it's not much light. So I've got all my LED lights and magnifying lights and stuff going. So I think it's going to be okay to film, though. I tested it out before, and I think you're going to be able to see stitching and stuff. So, okay. I don't know if any of you are members of Blueprints, which used to be Craftsy, and I've been a member of them for years. But it was announced this past week that they are closing. So if you don't know what that is, it is a video service, instructional video service. They also have, crafting supplies that they sell as well, and a lot of my quilt kits that I have came from them, because they'll have these amazing sales with gobs of fabric, to make specific patterns. And so whenever I would see one of those going a really good price, I would snap it up. And then you also, you could either just purchase classes and get lifetime access, or the last couple of years I've done the membership, where you could stream whatever you wanted, and then every quarter they would give you like 3 Own Forever classes coupons. So there's a lot of people, a lot of their members that are sort of like, okay, this was supposed to be lifetime access and now you're closing. What are you going to do? So I think they're trying to work something out to have people be able to, get their Own Forever classes that they paid for. But from what they said was that they were looking into ways to make them downloadable. Well, I guess I could get a memory stick and fit it on there. I don't know. I own, probably 50 classes. So, and most of them are, like about 6 lessons, 20 to 30 minutes each. So, where am I going to put it, and then finding the time to download it? I think they should just send everyone DVDs, because they do have a DVD service. What I was really hoping is that someone else would come in and buy them out. They got bought out by NBC Universal a few years ago, and it was sort of like this collective groan across the, crafting community, because we knew that it was going to end up poorly. So anyway, if you're a member of Blueprint, I just wanted to pass that news along if you haven't heard already. So anyway, they don't have a whole lot as far as cross-stitch classes, but they do have like embroidery classes. cooking classes, cake making, sewing, quilting. I mean, the quilting was what I had originally, joined for. Even though quilting's really taken a back burner since I've picked up cross stitching again. And, I've talked about this, trying to identify the reasons why, and working on this quilt for my younger daughter for her 30th birthday in October. And I'll show you some blocks that I got made done, but I think it's like becoming clearer to me. I'm always, while these blocks, and I'm going to show in a little while, like the middle parts look good, but then when I trim them down, it's like when I sew these blocks together, basically 90% of the star tips are going to be gone. So, and I don't know how to fix it. So it's frustrating to me as a crafter, creator, yeah, I enjoy the process, but I also want to have a reasonably, good product when I'm done. And, maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist, I don't know, but I'm always slightly disappointed in the results when I make a quilt. And I'm not disappointed when I do cross-stitch projects. I mean, sometimes I may be a little disappointed with my finishing, but overall, I'm more pleased. So it's like for the time and effort that you put into something, to be disappointed in the end is sort of like crappy. It's just, that's no other way to say it. So anyway, I do have a couple of FFOs to share. My mania, I kind of stuck to my plans for the most part. I did add a few things in, and 3 things. I think it ended up being 3 things that I didn't have in my plans that I started, and 2 of them I finished. So one is Hands-On Designs Year of Celebrations, and this is the June edition. I love it. I think every month ends up being my favorite. But I just really love this piece a lot. I'm really, really happy with how it came out. A lot of times I don't care for the author, the designer's color choices. And so I'll do my own, but this one, I'm pretty sure I used all the call for DMC colors. Because they just, really scream beach. And you know what? I got some stitches missing. 1 stitch missing. Can you see it? It's on the little bucket. Isn't that lovely? Oh well. See, that, it's sort of like, oh yeah, I'm disappointed that I missed that stitch. But I'm still happy with my project. So this is a little frame that I picked up on clearance at Home Goods back in November. And it's stitched on 28 count tea-dyed Monaco with, like I said, DMC. I went to Hobby Lobby Thursday. Yes, Thursday. And I really didn't realize that our Hobby Lobby had so many different ribbons. They really have a good selection of ribbons. Our Joann's is horrible. Terrible selection of ribbons and trims. But anyway, I picked up this little grosgrain ribbon. And then I picked up a package of little sand dollars and glued that to the center of the bow. And then there's just a magnet. I usually cut up little refrigerator magnets, but it was too heavy. It wouldn't hold it on there. So that's my June year of celebrations. I also made some, since I added a couple of projects to my mania, I had to make project bags. So I had this fabric in my stash. I had used it to cover, you may have seen in one of my other videos, filming in a different location. I have a bulletin board with this, it's sort of like a tapestry fabric. So I kind of, it was, like that slap your head moment, when I started putting this binding on, and it's like, why did you use the same fabric? Because it's very, very thick. So it was quite a chore to get that that on there, but I did it. And this is the inside. This was some material that I used to make curtains, a little window topper in my other craft room before I moved in. And then I also made a matching little threadboard. And I just took foam core, put batting on it, and then took the leftover binding strips from this and hot glued it. Hot glued it around. And then that little needle minder was in one of the sew sampler boxes sometime in the past. I don't remember which month, but you may be able to pick those up on Fat Quarter Shop's site. And then quite a while ago, I bought this, I've got threads everywhere, this Beauty and the Beast fabric from Joanne. Someone on Instagram had a bag made out of this, like a handbag type bag. And oh my goodness, I just fell in love with the fabric. So, and then I had that chunky looking zipper in my stash. And then, I mean, this inner fabric and this binding fabric, I mean, these are probably 20 years old at least. And then I just took the little, did the same little threadboard. So those are 2 more FFOs. And then earlier in the month, I was looking around on Doreen Jones's Facebook page. If you haven't visited her Facebook page, you need to. Go and look at her albums, and in her albums, she has yearly albums for all of her free designs, and she has a lot. So this next design, I just was sort of scrolling through the pictures and saw this, and instantly thought of a friend that I needed to send a card to. So this is the design. I think it's called Flower Heart Hanging Ornament, and I think it's in her 2018 folder, I believe. So I basically just chose my own DMC flosses. They do have, several mistakes in the pattern, but you can't really tell. But so I initially thought that I was just going to, somehow finish the cross stitch, maybe like on a comic book board, just a, little mounting, where I at least get rid of the raw edges. But I wasn't sure exactly what was the best way. So I went on YouTube and I found some videos, and people were talking about finishing cross stitch into greeting cards with these aperture cards that you can buy. And it's basically like a 3-fold card that you insert your stitching in the window, and then you fold one of the flaps over and glue it down. I didn't have that. I didn't want to wait for that to come in. I did have these blank greeting cards that I've been having since, when my girls were at home. And we did, rubber stamping and made our own cards. So I had, some left over, and I've used them throughout the years for different reasons, but I was like, I got to figure out something that I can do just with what I have on hand. So, years ago when I was into scrapbooking, I, did creative memories. I don't know if I ever did a party. I may have. But anyway, they have this cutting system that has these templates and these little cutters. So the card was completely white, and I thought it was a little stark. So, I'm glad that I didn't get rid of all of my scrapbooking stuff because I don't scrapbook anymore, but I still had all of my supplies, and my husband calls it my Winnebago, my scrapbooking Winnebago. It's like, this rolling suitcase bag thing. Anyway, I had some chalks in it, and so I just took 2 colors of the chalks and just with my fingertips brushed it on the card so that it's not just stark white. This is stitched on 28 count China Pearl linen from Witchout. And then for the inside of the card, I just took a piece of scrapbook paper and cut it to size and just glued it on the inside, and then on the other side, I wrote what I needed to write to the person I'm sending this to. So I sort of feel like I've started down another rabbit hole, because now, watching the videos, I saw some really cute projects of, cross-stitched greeting cards. So who knows where that's going to end up, but I had fun making it, and I think it turned out pretty. I love the pattern. Absolutely love the pattern. Kind of wish that I had, a circle one of these instead of the oval, but I used what I had. So those are my FFOs. So now let me show you the progress I made on my whips for Mania. I mostly kept to my schedule of stitching, but there were a few, like that was something that little card that I just showed you, that was one that I added. And it was a spur of the moment. I need to send this person a card, and so I did not stitch on some of my planned stitching so that I could get that finished. So, when I forgot to grab design board. So this is, sure, I got it right side up. This is the Chalkful series, the latest, called Bloom, and you can just see the top of the red jar, which I love. So I didn't get very much done on that, but I did get a start. And I don't know if y'all are stitching this or not, but the final one in the series is called Liberty, and it's patriotic. I love it. And then they also did a sneak peek of the next Stitch Quarterly from Fat Quarter Shop, and it's patriotic too, so I'm excited about both of those. Okay, so this is one that I also added. I follow Nevada Stitcher on Instagram, and she posted that she was joining in on this stitch along, and I love it. So I was like, I have to join in. So this is from Bluebird Needleworks. She's on Etsy, and that is where you basically you purchase the sew along, and I'm not sure if the price goes up the longer it goes on. I think it may, but like when I joined, there was only part one, I think, and so it was $7.50, and you get, I think it's 12 designs. But how it works is once you get finished stitching each release, you either email it to her, Instagram, post it on Instagram with a tag, or you can Etsy Messenger, I think, with it as well. And then she sends you the next part, the next release if it's been released already. So I'm stitching this, and this color never shows up true to life on camera, both with the pictures that I take and then right here. It's really a very, it's called sun shower. So it's a very sunny colored linen, like almost lemon. It is like a lemon. And this is 32 count from the Chelt. This is my first time stitching on 32, and I like it. It's not hard at all. I actually find the higher counts are maybe a little easier because the holes are closer together, so I don't quite lose my place counting as much. So anyway, so this was the first release, and I'm using some of her called fors, but like the border was supposed to be in 12 grain from Classic Colorworks, and which is, what's here on the bird. It shows up okay, but it didn't show up enough to do the border with it. And then like this little flower right here, I think, was supposed to be yellow, which, I chose Queen Bee, I think. I don't know if Queen Bee was the called for or not. May have been, but anyway, it didn't show up. So I'm just changing some of the colors. Love them. I will say that, and I don't know if you can tell or not. Tell me if you can tell. So that first border is done in Morning Glory from Classic Colorworks. I had one skein of it from a Floss Fix from Fat Quarter Shop, and I knew that, it wasn't going to be enough to do the whole design. So I ordered more when I ordered a chart from Sassy Jacks, and it came in Saturday. And, I know that these are hand-dyed flosses, and, there's some variation, but it's not the same at all. So these are the 3 Morning Glories. I ordered 2 more skeins from Sassy Jacks. So this one right here is the one that I started on the design with. And then these are the ones that came this weekend. So I can't, it's too much of a difference. And I don't know if I buy it anymore. There's no lot numbers on these or die lots or anything. So I don't know if buying them from anywhere else would be any different. So I just did a little bit of this border with 798 DMC. I think you can tell a little bit, but from a distance, not really. So The only thing is this DMC that I have is, ancient. And it's the same thing, even though this is not hand dyed. The dye lots, like today, the colors aren't necessarily the same. So I have to go to town today to get taxes done. Ugh. But I'll probably run in Joann's and see. And I may end up changing the color of the border altogether. But I really like the blue. I thought about maybe changing it to like more of a navy. I don't know. Tell me, you guys tell me what you think. I just want to make sure that I have enough to do the whole thing in the same color. I mean, I could do different color borders, but I'm not going through all that. But anyway, I worked yesterday on the second part, which is the tulips. And I got a good bit done. And I love, can I just say, this right here and right here. This is Classic Colorworks Pickled Beets. And I absolutely love it. It's the most gorgeous floss, I swear. I probably should just buy like a bunch of pickled beets and do the border out of that. Because I really do love that a lot. The only thing is that, I want to keep getting them sent to me without having to pay anything else. So I'm wanting to get them stitched as fast as I can. She just released the next part. And it's really cute. It's got another bird. And as always, I will link everything I'm talking about below. So also, one of my manias, and I haven't stitched a whole lot on this, so I don't think I've made any progress since the last video. But this is, and I'm sorry for the wrinkles, this is the Little Sheep Virtues. This is Peace. And this is stitched on 28 count Venetian stone using the called for DMC flosses. And this is a free chart from Brooks Books Publishing. And I'm stitching this little eagle up for my hubby for, hoping for Father's Day. If not, I'll do it for his birthday in August. And this is on 28 count natural linen from Wichelt. I'm using the called for DMCs except for the beak, which is a sulky that I have. And then the red stripes or oh, I don't have them marked. I think it's Ribbon Red from Classic Colorworks. But these are the flosses. I don't think this is, no. I don't have my little, I have a clipboard like with all my Mania projects sheets. So that's where I have everything written down as far as what flosses and cloth and stuff. I usually can remember the cloth, but haven't worked a whole lot on this one either, but this is My Love from Madame Chantilly. Sorry. I got that, picked that up when Fat Quarter Shop had a flash sale on it a while back. And this is what I've gotten done so far. This is on basically a mystery piece of cloth. I'm pretty sure it's Lugana. I'm not sure. It's either a 32 or 20. I think it's, I don't know. I bought this at a local at Patches and Stitches in Huntsville, and they didn't mark it other than marking the size down, which ended up being wrong anyway. But anyway, I've done a few things on Lugana, and I've determined I don't really like stitching on Lugana. I'd much rather stitching on linen. I don't like, I don't know what it is about the Lugana. The threads just do weird things. So, but this is on, this is with the called for DMC flosses. I think it's a really pretty pattern. These, I think these two, well, it's more than two because this first one has 3 parts to it. These were my favorites from Mania. So these are waxing, oh gosh, I hope I didn't show part of the chart just now, but sorry if I did. Waxing Moon Designs Valentine House Trio. And I am using, I think I've shown this. I'm pretty sure I showed this last time, but I did also make a little matching little board. I had a piece of the binding just laying around. I was like, hey. And I had like a piece of foam board that was sort of small. So I was like, use it. I'm using autumn.stitches on Instagram. I'm using her color conversion. And it is predominantly classic color works with a few weeks flosses and like 1 DMC. So this one is the Be Mine House. These are stitched on 28 count China Pearl linen from Witchelt. This one is the Beloved House. And then this is the Valentine House. I love these. And I really hope that I'm able to find some really awesome piece to put these on. I think I want to do them all together on one piece if I can. And the final one, let's see, make sure that I've got them all, is the stitch along that Fat Quarter Shop's doing called Feels Like Home. All 5 pieces are released now, but I'm still on part 2, which is the house. The pattern called for, except for like the window areas, the glass areas, it was all gray. Different color grays, but it was a lot of like dark, because I still have to do the roof, which is going to be in this black. So I said I have to break that up. So I did the door and then the dormer with Caribbean Waters from Classic Colorworks. I'm using the call for Classic Colorworks colors. This is a fun stitch. First time I've ever stitched a house. And it's stitched on 28 count antique white Monaco. I do like stitching on Monaco. And I'm still trying to, decide what, I don't know, what'll be my, go-to cloth, my favorite cloth. Monaco's pretty hard to beat because it's so inexpensive. And these are all the flosses for that. Someone, I believe there's like a little picket fence under the house, and I believe that it was supposed to be in this color right here, which is tabby. And it's kind of light. So someone said that they did a strand of tabby, and then this is Plymouth Rock. They did a strand of each of those, and I really like the way that looks, so that's how I'm going to do mine when I get to it. But that's a really cute piece. It has a little picket fence, and then it has a little bouquet of like 2 roses with some leaves down at the bottom. So really cute. So that's all my cross stitch whips. I have been working on my younger daughter, Lakin, on her quilts. And I've gotten all of there's 12-inch blocks, and then there's a bunch of 6-inch blocks. So I've been working on those, and so yeah, I think I have to make like 24 of this color combination. I made 8 of a green combination, and then I still have like 2 combinations to make. I mean, it's like over 100 blocks, so quite a job. So I think, is it Saturday? Most of the day Saturday I worked on that. And so that's my whips. So my plans, like as far as immediate, plans for the next couple of weeks, I want to keep working on the Live Simply. Need to figure out what kind of thread I'm going to use for the border so that I can get that second piece stitched. And then, if I change my mind and decide to change, that's the only thing. It's like if I change it to a different color, then I got to rip all of that first border out. So I'm hoping when I go to Joann's today that color floss still today is similar to what I had in my stash. That's probably 20 years old. Because I think it's close enough that, like I said, from a distance, you can't tell that it's a different color, at least to my eyes. So I want to continue on that. I want to, I had gotten, right before Mania started, I had gotten caught up on my linens and threads, and I'd kind of hoped to stay caught up and work on it some in May, but I didn't. So this is the Mystery Sal. This is a free pattern from Linen and Threads. You can get it on their website. So I want to go back and get May and at least part of June done, so that I'm not terribly far behind. I want to work on that blend that I love, the eagle with the flag from a hubby. And then I kitted up the next year's celebrations, which is July. I worked on that yesterday. So, where's that? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to orient? Okay, so this is the pattern. And I'm doing all of these on the 28 count tea-dyed Monaco, which I need to order some more of because I'm out of pieces large enough to do these on. And then these are the flosses that I picked. She uses like fancy floss, and then she gives a DMC conversion. This is the DMC conversion, which is 321 This is not. This is, I wanted something a little more navy, I guess. So I'll change that one. This is the called for. This is the called for. And this is, I don't have a whole lot of yellows of DMC in my stash, so this is that sulky that I have, which I think is just more of a golden yellow than what I had. Golden, but not gold. It's still got some brightness to it, so I will be working on that. I think I have July, August, so I have 4. I have 4 more to do, and then I'll have all 12 of those done. And I just work on them, you know, as the months. Like whatever I need for the following month, I work on that during the month. Okay. Haul, the fun part. Okay, so a while back I had ordered from Goose this little, I don't remember what she calls them, Project Pals maybe? It's a little one of those little thread things, and I really like hers that fold, because, you know, it keeps the threads intact easily. But I just love this pattern, this fabric. And she had bags back then, but I just couldn't bring myself to pay it. So I don't remember what I was doing. I was looking, I think it was a notification maybe on Etsy saying she had new items in her shop or something. And this bag was one of them. And I thought she was sort of out of this fabric. So I was like, you know what? I keep thinking about it. And so I ordered the bag. And I love it. This is the back. So I'm not one to, I don't know. I mean, I know that this bag, I'm sure it's worth the price that she charges, but their bags are expensive. So I don't buy a whole lot of custom-made bags. I mean, I can make my own and spend that money that I would spend on a bag on thread or fabric. So anyway, love it though. It's very pretty. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to share next? I did get the latest linen club from Fat Quarter Shop. And these are 28, all 28 count. And this is the color Water Lily, which is pretty. It's not showing, it's not showing up really true to color. Maybe right in there. It sort of has a green tint to it. Color is the strangest things. Because, you know, I watch FlossTubers and they'll, you know, zoom it in or zoom it out, and then it's just weird. You know, like all of a sudden at some point on the camera it'll be like, oh, they're like, yeah, that's true to life. So I guess I'm going to keep getting these. Now that I've stitched on a little larger count and it's not bad, these are 28 count. So some projects, you know, it's a 28 count and an 18 by 27 piece. So, like, that's why I had to, on that, the Live Simply, I had to go to a higher count so that the design would fit. So the lower count means that some of the things I want to stitch won't fit on it. I guess I kind of like to stitch big stuff, so even though it would be nice to finish more. um, so I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing it for a while, and I really wish I hadn't dropped out of the floss fix, but oh well. So Fat Quarter Shop is also, they have something coming up that I signed up for, and it is with Lori Holt, and it's the Prim Stitch series. I'm not a Prim person really at all, but Kimberly's been showing these little like snippets, like little pieces of each month's designs in her Mania, and so and then it's based sort of on a quilt that Lori Holt has, and I looked at that and I was like, I think I want to. So so it's monthly from July 2020 to June 2021, and I did reserve it. So and it's like, $8 a month. So this is what the first month's going to look like. And I am going to stitch it. You have the option of stitching it individually or all together on one cloth. So I'm going to do it all together. I think the border is really what got me. Whew, love it. So I went to Cobweb Corner. That's where I got that sun shower yellow linen. And while I was there, I love Cobweb Corner, y'all. They're excellent. Like, super fast shipping. They have a lot of threads that, other people didn't have. So anyway, I chose a Jobelin from Witchout, and this is lamb's wool, and it's a 32 count. That's, again, the 32 count was how I had to go to be able to fit the design all in one piece. For some reason, this doesn't seem like all the threads. There's a lot. Maybe these are just the ones that I didn't have. So I've started doing and I'll share more about this in a minute, but I'm debobbinating my DMC and putting them on these little thread cards. So I think these are the ones that came in from Cobweb Corner. There's more colors to it, but these are just when they came in, I went ahead and put them on cards. And you can see, like this one, I had some of that already. And you can tell this is the one that was on the bobbin. I didn't have very much of it yet left, so I thought I probably wouldn't have enough. But anyway, this is what part of the floss is, and then this is the cloth. I've never stitched on a Jobelin. I like it. It looks more like a Monaco, but it doesn't have that thickness of Monaco. It's more of a, the texture, I guess, of a linen, but it's, there's no slubs, it's even. So that'll be interesting to see how I like stitching on that. Okay. I also ordered some more things from Devin at Strawberry Lane on Etsy. I follow her on Instagram, and she posts when she's going to update her shop. So she had these sets of thread drops that I just fell in love with. Look at that. Come on. Oh, oh my goodness. So pretty. When I was going through my scrapbooking stuff for that card that I was making, I found an old calendar that had some really pretty paper that I instantly thought of thread drops. And then I don't know if I've shared on video or not, but she started selling her linen. So I bought this piece, and I need y'all guys' opinion. I don't think she really names the colors or anything. What I was thinking of this for is something that I originally wanted to be my birthday start, but I think something else is bumping that. So I don't know when I'll start this, but I want to start it sometime this year. But so this is stitched on, the model is stitched on Sanguine from Weeks Dye Works. And this, it's so hard to tell things on the computer, but the fabric looked a little bit more pinky. It's more peachy in real life. So I'm kind of doubting that I want to stitch this. Then again, when you look at the flosses that are in it, it's like, is all of that just going to blend into a pink background? I mean, it doesn't on the picture, but it's hard to tell. So I also have this, which I think this may be the winner. So this is Playing with Jacks from the Cricket collection. That might be it. And I think this is, I think this will work. I think I did the math on it on the stitching calculator, and I think this would work, but I'm not sure about. This is Teresa Koget's Newcastle Bouquet. Tell me what you think below. Tell me what you think. Which piece do you think I should do on that beautiful piece of linen? I think this is a 36 count, which I've never stitched on 36 count. The highest I've stitched on so far, like I said a while ago, is 32. So I'm going up and up and up. Speaking of Strawberry Lane, Miss Devon. I know I've talked about her before on my channel. She is stitching Elizabeth Weston, which is a Hands Across the Sea sampler. And she's stitching it on a piece of her own hand-dyed fabric. And when she showed it on her channel, it was like bucket list stitch for sure. And it cannot be stitched on anything except for that linen that she's stitching it on. It's just like it was meant to go on that linen. So I have the chart. It came Saturday. I found it on sale at Sassy Jack's for less than $20. Holy moly, y'all. I'm not sure why, but I love it. Look at that border. Look at that. So this is my first actual in my hands chart from Hands Across the Sea. Pretty nice. I mean, you get, all of the historical information on the sampler. And then, this booklet is 30 pages. So,